Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to Soulful Healing Tarot. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Today we're diving into part 2 of our three-part series dedicated to upgrading your love life. In part 1, we focused on understanding your current scenarios, identifying blockages, and reaching a place of acceptance. If you haven't watched that yet, I highly recommend starting there. I have linked it in the description box below. And yeah, in this section, we are moving into alignment. This is where the real transformation happens. True alignment is actually you literally rewiring your brain to recognize healthy love signals that you may have ignored in the past. The truth is, we don't just attract what we want, we attract what feels familiar. By doing this inner work, you're changing your definition of familiar and shifting your frequency to attract a partner who truly matches your highest self. Without any further ado, let's take a moment to pick a pile. Pick a pile that you're most drawn to. Use your intuition. Pause the video if you need more time. The timestamps will be in the comment section below, and I shall see you at your reading. Hello, my dear pile number ones. Welcome to your reading. So let's find out what is it that needs alignment when it comes to your internal architecture. Okay, I have your spread right here, and I'll explain each of these piles. Okay, so let's be open-minded when it comes to this reading because it really requires that. It requires a mindset shift because there could be some attachment to familiarity and familiar patterns, right? And we would get defensive. It is a natural mechanism, okay, right now, but it is important for us to be aware of these things, right? So with a practical mindset and an open mindset and being ready for change, we are going to approach this reading. Okay, so let's find out what is misaligned so that we can we can get to work when it comes to fixing that. More than fixing, tuning into alignment, right? So we can do what is necessary to be more aligned with the highest potential of this energy for us. Okay, the energy of love. So this is your spread. Let me explain it to you. We have 5 different piles. The first one is the core self concept, which is how do you currently perceive your own lovability. Okay, what is the narration that you give out to the world? What is the energy that you give out to the world? The second one is the attachment upgrade, your old survival mechanism that needs to end. The third one is the emotional filter. So this is more like, your internal gatekeeper, right? When it comes to your emotional security, you might be guarded even from something that is good for you, right? So we need to really analyze that. And we need to find out and bring it to the forefront, bring it to our awareness so that we can work on that. Then there is shadow integration. Sorry, yeah, shadow integration. What is it that is in your shadow that you need to embrace, right? So that we can stop complaining about things that has happened to us, the past and everything, and move towards integrating the wisdom from the shadow. Okay, the last and final one is the mirror effect. This is the quality to cultivate with which you can recognize your partner. Okay, you might recognize something similar in your partner, and yeah, if you cultivate this and if your partner is also probably in the same energy, right, when it comes to their personal growth, you might, it's like a portal. Okay, that's what I want to say. It's like a portal that opens up and fast forwards this story into aligning with your partner. Okay, so yeah, let's dive right in. Let's start with the core self concept. What is it that needs alignment there? We have the sun god. That's beautiful. With the number 40, it says, "Come all, come now. Expand into the skies and into the shadows below." It's about expansion, it's about radiating light, right? You are so powerful. This is the highest potential or the highest form of you when it comes to love, okay? Being grounded and radiating light, right? You see how stable this person is, how sure this person is of themselves. They don't have to prove anything to anyone. They know who they are, and they don't have to, it feels like someone who knows that they don't have to do anything to receive love. It is something inherent. Okay, so see if you are out of balance here when it comes to this energy. Are you aligning with the sun god energy right now? We have past lives. You have known this person before. It is a soulmate from a past lifetime. I love this energy for you because I think you're aligning with your soulmate. So for that, you might be going through some challenges, and if you've been wondering why things are not working out with people and in partnership, there is something that you need to grow out of. I think this reading is going to really shed some like light there for you to really work on that and work on your personal growth so that you're more aligned with your soulmate energy, so you are leveling up to that energy. Okay, so that's nice. You are aligning with your soulmate, okay, someone from the past life. So, see, the Ten of Wands energy. We have the Ten of Wands energy. This could be your current energy, okay, when it comes to love. Your core self concept could be attached to the Ten of Wands energy, where you are giving too much into relationship. You're the one doing all the work. You feel like you're carrying a lot of things on your own shoulder when it is supposed to be in partnership. Okay, so it feels like someone who believes that they need to be worthy of love. They need to earn it by showing up, by doing things, by giving their energy, time, whatever it is, like act of service to the other person, right? You feel like it is not even something they ask for. You feel like that is a reflex action, like an internal mechanism. You cannot do anything about it. So this could be out of balance here. Someone who's a giver, right? There's a very beautiful energy to be in, okay? And to be in partnership with someone like you, like someone who's a giver, is so beautiful because uh, who doesn't want to be nurtured? Who doesn't want to be loved from someone like that, right? So this is what I'm imagining right now, but it is out of balance here, where you need to be grounded in this energy. You need to be powerful in this energy, but here it is more coming from like a place of lack, right? When you lack something like that, when you lack love, you're looking for it outside by giving too much, by people pleasing, probably by being the one who is always there fixing something that does not require fixing, things like that. Okay, just pick up. Excuse me, I had to burp. Sorry. So yeah, just pick up on these energies. Just tell me right now, right? Comment in the comment section whether this is aligning for you, because this is what I see in this reading when it comes to self concept, right? Is this how you see yourself? Do you feel like, you're always being there for someone, you've been drained out, you're exhausted? So the shift that needs to happen here is you understanding that, exhaustion is not a badge of honor for you. Okay, you don't have to people please. You don't have to really be doing, you don't have to be the one who's fixing, okay, who's fixing relationship, who needs to show up. It is more a fear based reaction where you are fearing that other person will abandon you or something, right? So that is what I'm seeing here. So that mental clarity needs to happen with the Ace of Swords here. Once you have that mental clarity, and you need to shift your energy towards the sun god. It is easy said than done. I understand this because even I have gone through phases in my life where this was my approach, okay? And I didn't even know why, but it could be coming from an earlier abandonment, trauma, or issues I had before from childhood, maybe. So if this is your style, we need to be very consciously like aware of this, because it happens like a reflex action. Okay, something when you see the one who you are in a relationship with, or the person you like, right? You feel like you need to fill some kind of void or that emptiness, or you're always overdoing things and trying to please them, or there is some kind of attachment style that is similar to that. Okay, so we need to consciously root our energy, which is very hard to do because you have to pull your energy back when from doing these things, from leaping into being just staying grounded. So that is a mindset that you need to consciously do. So that is what I'm getting for the core self concept here for you, pile number ones. Now moving on to the attachment upgrade. Okay, Let's see what this has to say. We have sacrifice. Yes, this could be what you're doing. You're sacrificing yourself too much in relationships and with people that you love, right? You're just giving everything, like pouring out. You've been bled dry when it comes to how much you give, right, in relationships. Then we have reaching your goals. Everything you want from this connection will manifest in the near future. Well, that is very nice to hear. Okay, that's nice to hear. But let's see how it all holds together for this section, the attachment upgrade. We have justice and judgment. Okay, that is quite that is quite strong. We have both are about justice and judgment, right? You need to bring some kind of balance into the situations. Once you do that, the judgment is also telling me that your spirit team and everyone from the other side of the veil who are there for you, okay, your passed away loved ones, your spirit team, God, universe, whatever it is that you believe in, your higher power, they are also going to be helping you try to bring this balance and this justice into and fairness into this dynamics. Okay, so you have to be stern as well. You have to do your part, and the universe will do their part as well. Okay, your spirit guides and everyone else, and they're going to show up and they're going to do their part as well, but you also need to put some boundaries and effort when it comes to how you respond, your response mechanism. Okay, when it comes to lack or is it fear based, you need to identify that. So the attachment style, right? We're talking about the attachment style. It is about someone who is like who has this over functioning approach. Okay, someone who's anxious and preoccupied. This could be the attachment style that needs to change. Okay, you want to believe that you are inherently worthy of love. For that, you need to be okay being alone, right? You cannot attach it to someone else. This is something that really needs your focus right now, that you don't have to be hyper vigilant when it comes to being in a relationship, or you don't have to always be the one who's fixing things in a relationship, right? That is not right. That is not the right dynamic that we are looking for. You don't have to always be alert, like scanning for abandonment issues, or fixing something that does not require fixing. Probably we are at a distance, and you can some and someone has not texted you in a while, this person has not texted you in a while, and you feel like something has happened. So there is a lot of anxiousness and fear based approach here, right? Are you terrified of quiet moments like that? Are you terrified of the ebb and flow of life? See, sacrifice here in this, it talks about you must find the ebb and flow of life within your very self. Embracing it all is embracing truth. Yes, you need to be okay with the flow within yourself first. That is like, sitting quietly with yourself. Can you do that? Is distance a threat for you? Distance from a loved one? Do you seek external validation for your existence? So these are the things that you need to like ponder upon right now. Do you like trade performance for presence, right? This is giving someone who is a chaser but who needs to shift their mentality to someone who's attracting. I don't chase, I attract. This should be your mantra. Okay, that is when you will be reaching this goal. Whatever you need from a connection, whatever it is that you've been seeking, right? You've been thinking about, you've been seeking, and maybe you've been doing this for a while. Okay, you've been in relationships that has not been working out for you, that is draining your energy, and it's not right. Okay, something is not right. You feel like you're exhausted. So this is going to shift. Just this, being conscious about these things, right? This is really something that needs attention, because it is like rewiring your brain. Okay, so you need to consciously command, no, let's not do that. No, no, you don't have to feel anxious right now, you're fine. So you need to keep feeding such commands to your brain, okay, so that you shift this energy. So yeah, that is for the attachment upgrade. Okay, you need to shift this upgrade to more, self worth, self love. You're being okay, just being yourself, like more in the sun god energy. So yes, that is what I'm seeing for the attachment style. Let's shift to the next file. What is this about? The emotional filter. Oh, look at this. This is the Ten of Pentacles. How nice, right? So the emotional filter, right? This is telling me when the Ten of Pentacles is showing up here. This is the kind of the bar that you need to set when it comes to the kind of people that you're attracting. Now, if someone comes and approaches you and they're like all with their wishy-washy energy, you say no. You don't have to latch on to them just because you think you will not attract this kind of love, because in your reading it is quite clear that you're attracting a soulmate that is more aligned with you, okay, aligned with the potential of the Ten of Pentacles, right? The Knight of Swords, someone who's very clear with their intention, okay. That should be a filter in your internal mind, right? You need to make sure that you have these filters on, okay. Wishy-washy energy, no. Draw that boundary, draw that line. See, we have the Phoenix here is telling me, you're not accepting any breadcrumbs anymore, okay. You're rising up, you are protecting yourself, you're burning away um, all that energy that is not working for you, okay. You're not drained anymore, you are charged. Look at this, look at the light, look at your wings, like you're flaming with this new concept, okay, this new concept and this new shift to attract true love. It says this is the romance of a lifetime, true and lasting love is here for you. If at all you wanted to hear confirmation, if there is someone out there who is like the right match for you, this reading is a confirmation of that, okay. So you are not accepting breadcrumbs anymore. You need to keep that in your mind. Someone who is approaching you and they're being in this hot, cold energy, they don't have clear intention. They don't know, they're like, what, we'll just see as it goes. They don't have that clear mindset or vision of what they want. They're not very clear. Then you need to say no. Don't entertain such people in your life, okay? That is what this is about. You need someone who is stable, who is grounded, who knows what they want. They want to build a legacy and they want to build, they're very clear about this, okay. They're very clear about what kind of partnership they're seeking, what kind of vision they have for the future. They know all this. So do you know all this? That is one more question. Are you someone who's very sure of what they want, right? If this is your energy, you need to fix that. You need to align it to someone who is very clear, who's in the Knight of Swords energy, moving forward with clarity, charging forward with clarity, and someone who knows what they want in a relationship, to build a stable, grounded relationship. Okay, someone who's ready for that, someone who's ready to take the necessary steps to build such a connection with such a mindset. Okay, so it's not like a daydreaming energy where thinking about just romance and okay, we'll do this, we'll go for vacations, go there, we'll make reels or whatever it is that you are thinking about, right? It is more about true love, okay? Someone being there, building something together that is stable, that is like a legacy, you're leaving behind a legacy. You are, it is so beautiful. I don't know how to say this, okay? This energy is so beautiful, and the way, the transformation that I see in you, look at the sun god, the phoenix, everything, the fire energy, right? The passion and the strength, right? It is also beautiful when I see it. So this is telling me, so we were in the emotional filter bit, right? Yeah, you are no longer going to be the fixer upper for someone who isn't ready. but you're going to be the destination for someone who is. Okay, that is the filter that you need to turn on when it comes to guarding your emotions, right? You need to make sure this filter is there, and you're not accepting any breadcrumbs from anyone anymore. Okay, you just, it is hard. Okay, sometimes when we are bored we tend to, like, okay, we kind of uh, um just give in and try to go with the flow with this person, that whoever is interested in you, and then it becomes a problem. So there are a lot of things that we need to fix within ourselves. So I know this because even I have been carried away like that. It is not something new for me either. So yeah, that was number three, the emotional filter. Now let's look at the shadow. Boundaries. Yes, having that stern boundaries with people, knowing how to say no, right? Having those boundaries and being feeling secured in your own space, in your own skin, and by yourself, right? So that is what is going to be attracting the right partner for you, the true love for you. It says boundaries are sown into the parts of who you are, for they are not to be crossed. Yes, you need to. Boundaries are very important. Even when I saw the justice card, right, I was someone who has clear set boundaries. Okay, you cannot cross these boundaries. You cannot see beyond the veil, which is seen in the justice card, and unless you tell me your true intention, unless you show and you're very clear about your true intention, that clarity is required. Okay, you cannot cross this this exterior without telling me the intention. We have different paths. It says you're not on the same page with the person you have in mind, the direction you want to move into are different. Yes, so you are very clear about this. So different paths, meaning paths, someone who's not aligning with you. You have clear boundaries with people who are not aligning with what you want. Okay, you just have to let it go. Think, okay, they are meant for a different path that are not meant for me. No matter how enticing being in that situation may be, like, enticing the potential of this person maybe. Okay, so we're not going to be falling for potential anymore. We are going to only be falling for the real deal. Okay, so this, the 10 of swords, right, is a new dawn. So this tells me, when it comes to your shadow, right, you're going to be integrating whatever you've learned or whatever you've experienced, right, the past, whatever has happened in your life, whatever you felt like, you've given too much and people have always been breaking your heart. Oh, the current is back. People are just being mean to you, breaking your heart, and you're exhausted. So here, what the advice here is, when it comes to the shadow, right, integrating your shadow, is acceptance. Okay, such things, such experiences has happened to me. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to take the wisdom from these experiences. Okay, and I'm going to make all these shift that is necessary. Okay, from this reading, that whatever you have, whatever you've gathered, right, the mindset shifts, and whatever you've gathered as wisdom through this reading, right, I'm going to make sure that I'm aware of this. I'm constantly reminding myself of these cues and these advice. I'm going to integrate it, and I'm going to move on, so that you're not in a rut. Okay, you're not wondering, why did I have to go through this? Why did I have to? Why did that? Why do such things happen to me? So you might end up being in that energy where you are sad, and you're in a rut, right? Nothing is happening for you. But for practical reasons, what is better is, integrating the shadow, having boundaries, integrating the shadow. And this page of swords tells me that you're having that, um you are in this, although you're in the page energy, right? Page of swords is someone who is young, someone who is new to something. So you might be, all this might be new to you. Okay, because you're breaking the patterns. Having that mental clarity and acting on such cues might be new to you, but someone who's ready to do it, even though it is scary, even though it appears as something that you've not done before, right, breaking such patterns. So even though it is scary, you are showing up and you're going to do it. You're going to be there. You're going to stand guarded. Okay. You're going to stand guarded and you're going to defend yourself. Okay. From such energies because truly you want to seek this change. So yes, that is what I'm seeing here when it comes to the shadow integration. Let's go to the final one, the mirror. Oh, how beautiful. We have the gratitude. Then we have the hanged man. Then we have the chariot. And we have the lovers. How beautiful. It says, love lulls all sorrows and bewitches flesh, mind, and breath, reminding me that I'm unafraid of the unfurling winds of my eternity. Being fearless when it comes to love again and knowing that whatever you have experienced in the past, the love that you are attracting is going to heal all that. You're going to feel so much secure, so much loved, and you don't have this anxious attachments and very grounded and stable energy when it comes to love. And I really love that for you. So the portal right here, the mirror effect, that quality that you can cultivate right now is gratitude. Pile number one, you need to be grateful for the love already present in your life to attract more of it. This means you need to cultivate the habit of self love here. Okay, love yourself, be there for yourself. Okay, you don't need anyone else. Being there for yourself, being grateful for whatever it is. If you're receiving love from your friends, from your parents, from God, being grateful for that, right? And moving, charging with your mind cannot control you anymore. Okay, be it the good voice in you or the shadow within you. Okay, it might be speaking but it cannot control you because you have clarity. You're not like a servant to this energy. Okay, you are more the one who is the master. You're mastering this and you're moving forward. That is beautiful, okay? That is really beautiful. Maybe previously you might be influenced by these energies. They say, right, there are two wolves inside of you. One is the light and the other is the shadow. And it depends on what you feed, right? And here you are not influenced by either the light or the shadow. You are kind of taken charge and know the shadow is whispering, the light is whispering, but you take charge and you listen and you do what is necessary. Okay, you have command. That is what I'm seeing. Okay, you have command and you think before you take a leap of faith, or before you take a leap, or before you charge towards something, you really consult with your intuition, right? You look at things from a different perspective here. See the hanged man, right? So previously, however you've been looking at things, right, you need to flip that. Hey, you need to stop, like, I'm sorry that I said hey like that. But it seemed like I was like I don't know how to explain it. I wanted to snap myself out of some pattern that I was doing. So I wanted to snap myself out and I had to say this loud hey. I'm so sorry if I scared you with that. Hey, I scared myself too. So yeah, so hey, why not look at this from a different perspective? Like, always have that awareness before you take decisions when it comes to someone you are interested in, okay, when it comes to your love life. So yes, that is what I'm saying. I hope this was insightful for you, pile number ones. Tell me if it resonated for you, and tell me how open you were to listening to this section or this picker card reading, because I have just said it so bluntly, no sugarcoating. I'm just saying, like a matter of fact, this is what I see. This is what you need to shift, like the alignment. So yes, pile number one. I hope you've gathered some insights from this, and I really hope that you really take measures to shift your mindset, shift that response, like the nervous system responses, like in your mind, right? You need to change that. Also read some about neuroplasticity a bit if you can, like understanding like why it is necessary to to change, to have this mindset shift and be conscious about what we do, being aware and being conscious, consciously doing things, consciously telling yourself to shift this energy, right? Why it is necessary. So if you, I think it would benefit you if you read a little bit about neuroplasticity here, okay? Yeah, so pile number one, I shall see you in my next reading. Wait for part three, okay? Let's see what happens in part three. So yeah, I shall see you in part three. Until then, bye bye and take care. Hello, my dear pile number twos. Welcome to your reading. So let's find out what needs alignment when it comes to your internal architecture to attract that highest potential for love. Okay. So let's really dissect and dive deep into some patterns and behaviors that really needs to change and more aligned with our true self and what is more beneficial for us. Okay. So I have your spread in front of me here. I'm calling it the internal architecture spread. And I have five piles here, and let me take you through all of them. The first one is the core self concept. So we need to identify if there is some narrative that we're telling ourselves or we're projecting into the world that doesn't really align and benefit you, right? So this really talks about how you currently perceive your own lovability, okay? How do you think, how much worthy are you of love, if at all you've been putting some kind of a scale there, or been thinking about that? Are you limiting yourself there, right? The second one is the attachment upgrade. Is there any kind of attachment styles that is blocking you, okay? Any kind of survival mechanism that you need to let go of? The third one is the emotional filter. So this is like, a security guard guarding our emotions. So sometimes we are blocking even the good bit to enter our system or enter our way, come our way. We are like, being defensive, and we're not letting the good in. Okay, so it's some kind of a safety mechanism that we have adapted based on our experiences, our past experiences. Sometimes we need to break and shed that, right? So we need to change that. Whatever internal gatekeeping mechanism that is blocking us from this true alignment with our love, that we need to change. Okay, so then we have the fourth pile, which is the shadow integration. What is it that from our shadow that we need to integrate rather than ignore? We might be ignoring some bits in our shadow that we really need to integrate, confront and integrate, right? So let's find out what that is. And the third one, the final one, is the mirror effect. It is the quality that you need to cultivate, okay, in order to align with this partner, this high potential, high vibe partner. You need to cultivate this quality. What is that quality? It is like a portal that is going to open up for you, okay? Once you start focusing on this activity or this quality, you are going to be attracting this true love sooner. Okay, you're upgrading your love life this way. So yeah, this is more about practical aspects, like when it comes to our internal psychology, what we need to change. Okay, and we're just using tarot as a tool in order to identify that. Okay, so that we can bring it into our awareness and we can really put in the effort to shift that mentality, right? I'm not going to lie, we have to put in the effort. We need to rewire our brain, okay? We need to make sure we're shedding that old patterns, and we are telling ourselves, affirming, through affirmations or through some techniques that you need to go online and search and find out how to shift this mentality, right? So let's see what pops up first. Also, I want to say that I'm going to be blunt here, because it's more about identifying the problem, which is whatever is misaligned, and aligning it towards something that is more aligned. So we need to have a practical approach towards it. Be open to hearing what it is, what you need to hear right now, right? What you need to identify and change and shift. So that being said, let's dive right in. Let's see what the cards have to say. The first pile, the core self concept. Ooh, we have the sex magic here, the Ace of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and we have open your eyes. If someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Okay, so what is it? What is the core concept? So we'll see what is the healthy aspect of it, and if it is misaligned, or how it is going to pop up. Okay, so when I see the Ace of Cups, right, it is about unconditional love. You're someone who is ready to give, like, go all in, give all out. Just give yourself to the other person. You have this unconditional love for people or whoever it is that you want to love, right? You have unconditional love. It is unlimited. Okay, you don't have any boundaries, you don't have any uh, rules when it comes to love. Probably you don't even like it. Okay, your cup is overflowing. Okay, so you will be showering the other person with your love. Okay, so once you're open to this person, so how do you this is giving someone who is blinded by love. Okay, someone who can be blinded by love. So if it is misaligned, that is what you need to change. Are you not seeing things because you're blinded by love, right? Or the concept of love. Also, you could be someone who's very alluring. Okay, you might be very attractive. There is something about you that is very seductive or charming, or something that is not even you're not doing it on purpose, something that you are, right? Which is meant to be your power, but probably others are giving it another narrative, like, something that they're trying to shun you down, they're trying to limit you. So you could also be overly guarded because of that. Okay, so think about it. You have a lot of love to give, but because of how people are responding, you might be a little guarded. Okay, you might be defensive. No, I don't want to get into this kind of energy, and you're always defending yourself while you need to be standing in your power, right? And also in relationships, you could be defending people without seeing, like, when they're doing something right. You might be having this internal narration which is, like, supporting them, while clearly there is something that is wrong here. Okay, they might be taking advantage of this unconditional love that you have to pour into other people, right? So people might be taking advantage of that. So, what is it? Like, are you aligning to this energy right now? So, because here the advice is quite clear. You need to open your eyes. If someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't justify their behavior. Don't accommodate them. Okay. Don't, if you see patterns once, twice, it's okay. But if it keeps happening, and only because there is no veil of judgment when it comes to, you accepting or rejecting this person. It is all very emotionally reactive. Okay, you are pouring in your emotions, you want to defend them because you love them. Okay, but there needs to be like a mental judgment, like clarity. You need to think about it. You really need to think before you act. This is the kind of visuals that I'm getting in my head. Okay, someone who is so full of love, but they cannot contain their love. They're ready to pour and defend for the love, right? They're ready to defend. It's like, ride or die kind of a person. And what are the misaligned self concept that come because of this? One I see is them being blinded and not really seeing the truth for what it is, right? Not seeing the situation for what it is. Now, how could this affect a relationship, right? You might be acting like an enabler for someone else's bad behavior, right? So that is one thing that I see. Two is, when you when you pour so much love into another person, right? And when they hurt you, you might get overly defensive. You might put up a wall. It is like, all in or nothing at all. Okay, you might, even if it is something that is good, that is trying to approach you, something that is good, like a good person trying to come and talk to you, you might, like, be very guarded, and you might say things that is not really required that time. There is no healthy approach there. So that is another thing that I'm seeing. Also, you might be controlled by others' narrative of you, because you could be a very attractive person. Okay, so you might not be in your power. you might be like, closed off perhaps, or you might let others control you because you are quite charming, right? Others might say, hey, you know what, they might give you tags, like name tags, like, you are the reason there's a problem. Why is that person attracted to you? Why is this happening? Why does it always happen? So there is a practical approach to this, right? So that is not happening. You are probably very, now that you hear such things from the people that you love, right, you might feel very bad, like listening to them, like, what are you talking about? I just have my eyes for you, like, I love you, but they may not be able to listen to this, right? So what is the kind of mechanism that you have in place when such situations arise, right? How do you handle it? So those are the things that needs to be focused on when it comes to core self concept. Whatever you're blessed with is your power. Okay, it is not something that is meant to limit you. It is your power. You're meant to be loud when it comes to who you are, the person that you are, the personality that you have, right? And the love that you have to give. But you need to have quite a moderate, like, you need to moderate it. You need to find a way to moderate this. And also, never ever be the enabler for someone's bad behavior. Okay, you, just because they're your partner, just because you love them so much, and do not give them excuses. Okay, do not find excuses to forgive them. Okay, you need to cut them off, no matter how much you are attached to them this way. It could bring up some codependency energy because of this. So let's move to the second pile. We have the attachment upgrade. What is this attachment? See, we have the Four of Swords here. Okay, someone who is resting in peace, someone who has put their swords down. They're resting. They are recuperating their energy. Right. There is a restful sleep here. So the attachment style could be like, this is the positive aspect, but the attachment style, when it comes to being misaligned, it could be like a chaotic energy. Okay, chaotic attachment type. There's always drama. There is always something happening. There's no peaceful. So we have hand fasting here. See how beautiful. Someone, they have both have their eyes closed. They're trusting each other. They are in peace. They come in alignment. They have they've set their woes, like, they know what they're doing. They have spoken with each other. They know each other's how they are. They've understood each other, and they're coming into a peaceful union, and there is very harmonious relationship. There is grounded energy here. So there is, if it is off balance, you would be in a partnership that is quite dramatic and very chaotic. Okay, and out of balance could be very demanding even. See, we have the Emperor, which is about structure and rigidity. When in relationship, this could be out of balance. Okay, and it really says pay attention to signs here, the synchronicities that you have been, I don't know how to pronounce that. I keep pronouncing it wrong. Okay, the synchronicities you have been noticing are not coincidences. So yeah, you might be seeing the signs, but you might be ignoring it. You might be finding some reasons, right? So see what you need to change here. Okay, the attachment style itself is not healthy when it is chaotic, and when you have to take the blame for everything, right? And you're like supporting the other person very like blindly. You need to let go of that. You need to make sure that, you this codependent energy is not there. It's more about, you need to think. You need to have that mental clarity. What is it that you need to do now, right, before you defend this person, or defend love, or defend your idea of love, right? What is actually happening? Is it a bit of a delusion that we have here, right? You're meant to be in power also with the Emperor, right? This in the positive sense. You're meant to take control, take charge. Okay, take charge of the situation. Use your power and voice here. Okay, don't really get mellowed down, or I don't know how to, submissive. Don't be submissive to someone else's energy, even if they're trying to do that to you. Maybe you don't realize it, but yeah, don't be submissive. If at all you've been seeing this pattern in someone, right? They're constantly stirring up drama. There's no peace. You're not having this peace, even though you've not done anything. Okay. You are being blamed, and all they want to do is control you, right? If at all you see this attachment style, if it is from your end or the other person end, that needs to change. See, the emperor is someone, they're not new to the game. They know what to do. They've learned with a gray beard and everything. They have the wisdom, right? They are very clear. They act with authority. They have command over. So, do you have command over your own life, right? Love life. It seems like else is taking over. It's very, emotions are taking over, perhaps, right? There needs to be a veil of practicality and judgment there. So, yeah, let's move forward. Let's look at the next bit, which is the emotional filter. We have self worship. Wow. Yes. Yes. This is what you need to do. You're not nourishing yourself. You're not giving yourself the security and safety when it comes to love. Sorry, sorry, I had to burp. Yeah. You have always been feeling attacked, right? Accused and attacked, probably. So that is what I'm saying. So self worship is, when you pour into yourself, you're admiring yourself, right? You put your self worth first, right? You're drawing such boundaries, not allowing people to treat you in a way that, they it is subjective to their narrative, which is probably just a toxic version where they can control you. Okay, you need to set, you need to be very clear, you need to be very commanding. You cannot talk to me this way. That is not who I am. And you have to be okay with letting go of people who are taking advantage of you, right? It might be a little difficult for you because you're someone who gives a lot of themselves. You pour yourself into others, right? Wait, is that right? Is that the right way to say it? Yeah. You have a lot of love to give to others, right? So you probably will drain your cup for others. Okay, so you need to, shift the focus here. Bring the power back to yourself. Self worship. Okay, know your worth. There is divinity within you. Are you respecting that divinity that is there within you, right? You should not be acceptive whenever people are questioning your self-worth and accusing you of things. Stand your ground and defend yourself in a way that they know to respect your boundaries and to respect your worth, right? They cannot control you just because you, in their eyes, you're actually a very powerful shiny object. Okay, there's something about you, like I said, you are quite alluring. Okay, you something very raw and unique about you, and you're also a very passionate person, right? And you go all in. These girls are naked, they are dancing together, you go all in. And yeah, so they want to keep you, but if they have like a low self esteem, they will try to control you. Okay, you need someone who matches your energy. So once you give that love to yourself, once you have, once you pour into yourself, once you are devoted to yourself and worship yourself, right, you will match the energy of someone who is quite, quite sorted in their head and by themselves, right? They have good confidence, they have high self esteem, and all that. You will match them, and you don't even have to prove anything to them, right? You will go in a good, steady rhythm when it comes to the relationship dynamics. It's going to be more peaceful and grounded. Okay, let's see what the other card says. The Fool, Three of Cups, Twin Flame, intense connections. Okay, twin flame energy. This person is your mirror soul. This is why this connection feels so sacred to you. Twin flame. So I think the person that you are meant to be attracting, right, is more of a twin flame. Okay, they might be going through similar situations in their life and they need to upgrade. Like, like I said, how you have understood their self, your self worth, right? They too need to understand their self worth. So they might be going through a similar journey, and you might, meet them. You might need to, I don't know when you will meet them. I think it says taking a leap of faith with the Fool here and the Three of Cups. It's something to do with celebrations. So what is it when it comes to emotional filter here? Are you guys in a twin flame dynamic? Are you drawn to, relationships that is very chaotic and intense that way? So that need a lot of regulations. Okay, you, are you leaping, like, are you taking a leap of faith, and there are some celebrations and that is happening with the Three of Cups? What is this about? Celebrating yourself, right? Yes, this is about celebrating yourself. Get it? Okay, look at the Fool here, right? They're very open. They're being themselves. They're being proud of who they are, right? They have this purity, the symbol of purity with the rose. They, of course, they come with their previous baggage, which is the lessons. Okay, so are you encountering relationship where people are someone, the other person is, like, using your story, the past, to manipulate you? Probably, you know there is manipulations involved. Are you meeting such people, right? So there needs to be a clear structure when it comes to how you approach people. Like when you are deeply in love, right? Imagine you fall in love with someone. So you're ready to give your full, authentic self to them, right? And you're doing it very innocently. You just don't want to hide anything from them, like from your past or anything. But they might use this to their advantage to manipulate and control you. So you need to really make sure that there are stages to this process. Okay, don't give in too much all at once. Instead, like, in stages. So twin flame energy can be quite intense. Okay, so you need to have that. You need to already consciously remember this. It is possible that I'm attracting a twin flame connection that can be quite intense, um, and chaotic. Okay, so how do I work with this? Okay, what am I doing wrong? Am I not setting boundaries? Am I not, like, there something that I'm ignoring in the patterns that I see, right? This should be about celebrations, your emotional filter here, right? It was talking about celebrating who you are, celebrating your the way you are, right? And if that is not happening in a relationship, if this is not the vibe that you're getting, right, then something is wrong, something is misaligned, something is the approach, right, the method, something is off with that. You're attracting the wrong people. Or you might have a lot of admirers, and you might need to really have a filter before you pick the right partner for yourself. You need to see this as a very important task, because a lot of people might be attracted to you, but who's the right one for you, right? For that, you need to celebrate yourself for that. Okay, you need to take the leap of faith. If at all you've been being defensive when it comes to relationships, like how I saw in the first pile, you need to take a leap of faith, but you need to do it by celebrating yourself first and pouring into yourself, self worship. Okay, whoever matches this energy is your partner. Okay, the same energy is the one who is aligned for you. Anyone else who's coming in with the shady energy of putting you down, passing some shady remarks about you, your dress, just the way you are, just because when you are just being yourself, right? They cannot take it. They just want to say something, right? Because they don't feel that themselves, right? They don't feel that empowered. So they want to shine, like dim your light. So that could be the kind of people that you might be attracting. But if you shift your energy, you will. If you shift your perception, not your energy, like more about your self-worth and how much you give into yourself, what are you worthy of, right? You deserve the same kind of love that you pour into others, that unconditional love that you give others. You're defending them no matter what. I'm not saying you need another person who's an enabler, no. But they have a good sense of discernment, right? They they will not tolerate this. So you should also upgrade yourself to someone who is not going to tolerate some person like this, okay, no matter what. It might be hard for someone who is very emotional and attached to the other person. So let's see the next one, the shadow integration. Cow. King of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. Oh my god, it says love your shadow. What an alignment, right? It says accept and work with the flaws in yourself so you can learn to accept others as they are. Okay, what is going on here? See, this is what I am seeing, even with the hand fasting, right? This partnership, these two people who have come in union, they know exactly how the other person is, okay? At that at that time, at any particular time or phase in their life, people grow, people change, and yeah, because they are constantly moving in and out of cycles of self growth, right? So this person truly knows how this person is, okay? They know what are the light aspect of the other person, what is the shadow aspect of the other person, and they are they're ready to be in union with this person, okay, understanding the whole truth of this person, being authentic, right? So this is like a mutual feeling, so they've come into union that way. However, in your like reading, right, love your shadow, there is something like people are hiding their shadow. I don't know if this is your energy or you are attracting people similar to this, like they don't want to, they only want to be on the light, okay? They don't want to integrate their shadow, they don't even want to talk about it, okay? So that is quite unhealthy approach, right? You need to integrate, you need to, only then you will be able to accept the other people as they are, okay? So if this is something that you see in yourself, that you've noticed in yourself, where you don't want to think about the shadow aspect at all, like the bad bits at all about yourself or other person, right? And you're constantly defending yourself, like you have a very elusive kind of state of mind in that sense. So I'm sorry to say this because sometimes it has to be said, right? I even me, if you tell this to me, I can like go back to a time in my life where if you said this to me, I wouldn't understand, right? It depends on the approach. It depends on how you say it to me or how skillfully you can tackle me, like tackle the situation. So that skill needs to be there for you, okay, within yourself, because you might meet people that way. You might meet people who are showing you your shadows, and it might pop up, and you need to work with it. You need to really integrate it. You cannot run away from your shadow, okay? So, yeah, I feel like Spirit is going to give you a helping hand here, when it comes to working with your shadow. This is like nurturing energy. King of Pentacles, look at the abundant energy we have the King of Pentacles, and we have the cow here. So I feel like shadow work will really help you, okay? There's something about you and your shadow that you are not confronting or accepting or not integrating, because once you do this right shadow work, I feel like it's going, once you integrate that, it is going to be benefit you in a very good way. You see how the king of pentacles is sitting here, right, in the energy of abundance, wealth, right? Lot of shiny things. Yeah, you're meant to be shiny. Didn't I talk about how shiny you are, right? You are sitting in your power. In, like, yeah, I am shiny. I am this person. I have a lot of good qualities about myself. I am good looking and I am all this. Okay, yeah. Being with me is indulgent, yes. So what, are you gonna make me feel bad about it? No. Look, cow. We have cow energy. Cow is also about abundance, okay, nurturing energy. And it says, may the embrace of all that is nurturing you awaken in all that you're becoming. Okay, so something about nurturing energy here. You need to nurture yourself first, okay? You need to integrate that shadow so that you feel that you're in power all the time. You're not giving your power to someone else. You don't need external validation, although you seem like a person, like, if I met you, right, first of all, you might be extremely good looking, okay, you might be extremely good looking, but it might seem to me like you're not aware of your how good looking you are, or and you might be extremely talented even, with this good looks you might be good natured, like you come like a whole package, okay. And it might be, people might find it like too good to be true, and it this might be like, you are questioning yourself and you're going by their narrative, right? So you need to bring that power back. I can be the whole package. Like, is there any rule that, people who are good looking are come with some flaws, right? So that is the kind of situations that I am getting in my head, okay. People might be uh, giving you a wrong narrative, so you need to shift that, take your power back, okay. Show them, like, yes, I am good looking. And it is internal shift, and it feels really good when you stand in your power, okay. That is a different kind of feeling. You don't have, because you don't fear anyone. You let them say what they want, because what the energy that you are emanating is different, and they can't deny it. They will say it once, twice, but they cannot deny it. They're like, they'll just shut up. So this is what I see when it comes to shadow integration. Like, it is very beneficial for you, your shadow integration. Do some shadow work. Also, maybe go to a shadow work reading. I have one on my channel, but you can listen to any other shadow work tarot reading online, okay? And see what it is that you need to integrate. And here it is more about your power, okay? What I see in general, it's about who you are, that you're not seeing that, you are like like a whole package, right? You need to integrate and stand in your power when it comes to that. And yeah, the last and final one, the mirror, the portal, the quality. Look at this, King of Wands. I love King of Wands. King of Wands, they are charming, they are passionate, they are fiery, they're very talented. Okay, I feel like they are skilled in many ways. They're very creative, and yeah, they know their worth, okay. So you won't see them going, like, being very rigid and stoic. They're very fluid. They don't care what people talk about them, right? They don't care for all that. They don't feel like they need to be like, shout or scream at people and control them with fear. And you are also not that person. I feel you are like a King of Wands person, like very creative, okay. So this is a masculine energy. So this is, I really like the combination here, like being creative and being in the masculine energy, right? You're very grounded, okay. Your power is very it's silent, okay. It is silent, and that's why people might find you intimidating a bit. They might want to challenge your energy, but you shouldn't give in, okay. You shouldn't let other people control you, because you need to stay in your power. Milk and butter is about knowing that you are abundant, Okay, knowing that you are in a state of flow, you're abundant, there is no lack within yourself, right? Like this, there's nothing missing. Okay, there's nothing missing about you. You are like a giver. Didn't I call you a giver, right? You are like the cow, a nurturer and a giver. People might take advantage of that. You don't need to, spend any time thinking about cutting these people off, because you need to cut them off. Okay, and you shouldn't be closed off even because of your past disappointments. So what is the energy? You need to be in the king of wands energy. Okay, also, if at all you've been crying over spilt milk, right? The previous relationships and how they just took, they emptied your cups and they moved away, and they were ruthless to you, and you were so disappointed. Like, how can they do this to me? They might think that you are all that and you have no feelings. Probably you won't get hurt, but you are hurt. Okay, so this is because they don't have that self confidence, they have low self esteem. Okay, so they think they kind of feel powerful when they hurt you. So you need to make sure that you don't allow such people into your life. Pile number 2. Okay, 36 minutes. That's a long reading. It also says keep the door open, which means, don't be it says don't be so focused on a closed door that you don't see the ones which are open for you. So that is very clear here. You are focused on something in the past that has been closed, and there are two cups in the back that you don't see. Okay, so you might be too focused on the closed doors because you are so attached to these people, because you gave poured in a lot of love into these cups and then this relationship, right? But right now you need to focus on, you didn't keep the door open. Okay, don't be afraid to love again. Don't be so guarded, and don't think about the past, whatever has happened, right? Don't think about that. Focus on your energy. Be in your king of wands energy, charismatic, talented, in charge, taking control of your life. Your spirit, your life force is all in your control. This passion, right, for life and for love, and this fiery energy about you is, which is something that you should be very proud of. Okay, if at all you have like that sexual energy, spiritual people have heightened sexual energy is what I've heard. If so, you might be very well connected that way to the divine and to the universe. So you don't let people strip that away from you, like the abundance and the flow that you are in, right? Being nurtured, your self-worth, all that, don't let anyone strip that away from you. Okay, so you are also a giver. You should be proud of being that giver. Okay, so you need to attract your match, so that there is balance, there is equal. It's not like you are concerned about these things. You don't want to put such I give this much, you give, I will only give you this much love if when you give me this much love. You don't want to put such conditions around you. You're such a person, so let's attract someone who's similar like you. Okay. So, yeah, pile number 2. That was your reading. I hope it resonated with you. You are meant to be in the King of Wands energy. Please remember that, and stop focusing on the past. Be in the present and focus on the doors that are open for you. Okay, that are opening for you. And see, integrate your shadow. Okay, a lot of, I in your reading I feel like integrating your shadow is going to benefit you so much. Okay, integrating your shadow. Look at the king of pentacles, sitting so mighty with and proud with all their all the gold and the shiny objects they have. So I feel like, yeah, you have a lot of shiny things about you. Okay, you might be like highly desirable or very affluent. I don't know how, but there's something very remarkable about you. Okay, a lot of people would love to date you, but a lot of them don't cannot match your power or your energy. So that filtering system, right? Don't be blinded by what you see when they are coming in with, even if it is from their end, they're coming in and saying, I love you so much, I love you, unconditional love, and all that. But this is the pattern that you're noticing, right? Them trying to control you, them being toxic and manipulative, then you need to cut them off. Okay, pile number two is that was your reading. Make sure that you tune into part three as well. And yeah, I shall see you in my next reading. Until then, bye bye. Take care. To love. Hello, my dear pile number threes. Welcome to your reading. So let's find out about your internal architecture. What needs more alignment when it comes to your love life so that we can identify and shift it into something that is more beneficial for you. Okay, so I have your spread in front of me here. I have written it down. Let me just read it out for you. We have five different piles, and the first one is about this core self concept. So, what is the storyline or what is the narrative that you're putting out into the world right now? So, how do you currently perceive your own lovability? Are you limiting yourself? Is this something that you tell yourself or subconsciously believe, right? So, we're going to find out what is the potential there and we're going to align towards that potential, okay? So the second one is the attachment upgrade. If at all you have any unhealthy attachment style, we're going to recognize that and we're going to shift it. Okay. And the third one is the emotional filter. So this is like the persona of the internal gatekeeper, okay? Like something that is protecting you when it comes to your emotions, right? So sometimes there could be some misaligned energy there where you're not letting in the good bit, right? You're trying to be overprotective and defensive even, right? So let's find out if there is any such energies, okay? And the fourth one is the shadow. Are you confronting your shadow? Is there something about your shadow that can be a friend right now? If you align with your shadows and really embrace it and integrate the wisdom, is there some like changes that are beneficial for you doing that right now? And the fifth one is the mirror effect. It is the quality that you need to cultivate in order to, you know it is acting like a portal. Okay, you're using this as a portal to attract this true love faster during this time. Okay, so that is what the spread is about. So let's start with the first one. Let's start with the core self concept. We have balance. There needs to be a healthy balance of physical, emotional, and spiritual intimacy for a relationship to be sustainable. How true. And we have the Eight of Wands energy. Okay. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. Lovely. And we have the Stone Circle. It says, in ceremony, you conjure a devotion so deeply it reflects thy worship into yourself. So yeah, I forgot to mention this that I'm just going to be blunt with this reading. I might not sugarcoat it. So be open, okay? So be in this energy where like give it to me. I'm ready to listen to whatever you have to say. So it's more like a problem-solving mentality, so that you can easily figure out what is misaligned and shift the pattern to favor you. Okay, we are identifying our own behavior patterns, our own patterns that might be limiting us. Okay, it's not working in our favor. So we're going to rewire our brain. So it is more, it's more about our nervous system now. Okay, even this reading. So we are going to use it in a very practical sense. We're going to approach this tarot reading in a very practical sense. So that being said, the core self concept, right? In the highest potential, when you are in balance with your spiritual and emotional and physical, right? Physical being. If you are in balance, are you are so well aligned with this partner. Okay. First, you need to find that balance within yourself. Is your mind, body, and spirit all aligned? Okay. In this energy of love, is it coming from within, where you are aware that there is abundance of love and you can experience it by yourself, right? There's nothing lacking for you, and you're just seeking someone else in the same frequency, right? When you're aligned, look at this Eight of Wands energy. It's very beautiful. It's showing alignment in every aspect of your life, right? This, even though this is a love reading, this is going to come in handy for you in other aspects of your life, even. Okay, when your body, mind, and spirit, your physical, emotional, and spiritual intimacy is in balance, beautiful things can happen to you and very quickly. Okay, when you're devoted to this, balancing these energies, right? Look at the stone circle. It says, in ceremony, you conjure a devotion so deeply it reflects thy worship into yourself. Thy worship into yourself. You're worshiping your own energy, right? You're balancing your chakras, you're very aligned. So when you are in this state of being, right, you will not miss the Ace of Pentacles energy like a gift from the divine that is meant for you. Okay, a seed that is planted for you, a person that is going to appear for you. Okay, so right now, if it is misaligned, you might be experiencing, like, this is giving someone who is anxious avoidant. It is out of balance. You might be, moving too quickly into relationship or into knowing someone, and into rushing things, I might say. Okay, when it comes to relationship, when there is an opportunity, you might think, okay, I need to rush in, I need to build that connection, I need to build that intimacy, right? Or you might not be doing anything at all. This is like, either that or this. There is no balance, there's no in between, right? Either you are connecting too much emotionally, or there is no emotional connection at all. There is physical intimacy, but there's no emotional connection. There is spiritual wavelength is matching, but nothing else seems to be working out when it comes to the practicality of things, right? So yeah, that you might experience telepathic connection, sorry, when it comes to people. But when it comes to the reality of things, like practicality, there is no match there, right? So this is like a holistic view of looking at relationships, right? Not rushing in too much, not bringing in a balance. It seems like it's easier said than done, right? Because we kind of have to iterate and learn with from our experiences, and we have to be very sharp and conscious in picking out those patterns, right? We have to like actually sit and do it like a homework or a task. Only then, probably, I don't know about others, but for me, when I'm looking at this energy, if I had to shift from this mindset, right, I would have to like literally sit and take it up as like a task. Okay, not a task, like a activity that I have to do. I would put it in my schedule. Okay, like, okay, I need to come and check. I need to write in my journal and let me look, identify what is happening. Let me try to find solution. Actively googling, right? Actively finding information, and I would have to have that problem solving mentality, right? So again, I'm not rushing into things. For example, when connect spiritually with someone, right? It is like, for me, I would think it is the highest form of connection. Oh my God, I'm spiritually so aligned with this person. I can know before this person is calling me. I can know when something's happening for them, like emotionally, where they are at. I would know, and I can really, call them and find out, and they would actually be experiencing that emotion, right? So I would think, okay, that is so beautiful, spiritual connection, so aligned. So I might like dive right in, like try to rush things and not consider the practicality of other aspects and the connection, right? Like, first of all, are they single? Are they single? Are they available? Is there, practical reality suited to mine, right? They might be from different culture. Can I adjust to them, or can they adjust to mine? All these things need consideration, right? Instead of diving right in just because, the spiritual match is there. So we would think that because it is not something we usually experience, and we might limit ourselves thinking, okay, this is the right match, okay, this is like a soulmate, some kind of connection that is destined to be, and things like that. So this is the kind of energy I'm picking up. So this is coming from a mentality where you think there are no such connections that are going to be available for you. This is like the once in a lifetime kind of a situation. which is wrong. Okay, Ace of Pentacles is clearly showing the divine hand, giving you the opportunity. Okay, you missed this. Okay, but come on, learn your lessons, bring things into balance, be more discerning, right? And understand, be devoted to yourself, right? Don't dim your light for someone else to shine. Okay, maybe in fear of things not working out or the connection not going as planned, you might dim your light. Okay, just to put them at ease, their energy at ease, or something like that. So just see how this reflects for you. I don't know if this is aligning for you, but yeah, this is what I see. Okay, so being in balance, to be honest, for you, right, being in balance, everything else will be mastery. Everything about your life is like mastery when it comes to this balance. You mastering this balance, this chakra alignment, and you being in this balanced state of mind, well, you'll be very sharp to identify what is right, what is wrong. Like, it's like a algorithm in your head, and you will be sharp to understand divine nudges even. Okay, so that is what I see when it comes to core self concept. Very strong individual. Okay, you have the potential to be that really strong. I don't know at what stage you are in being self aware and in spiritual growth, but the potential is there to be like very strong. Okay, so for you, your ideal match would be an equally strong individual, and it's like an interdependent energy, not a codependent energy. Okay, two strong individual coming into union without losing on their individuality. That is the right kind of union that I see for you. Okay, so the attachment upgrade, we have Rowan. There is no need to fear, dear one. Protected you are, and protected you will always be. This card, I always see it as a lucky sign or something like you being aligned, okay? Related to aligning with the universe, you're in alignment, and you don't, here it says you don't have to fear. Rowan tree is about protection against evil or enchantment, or like, you have your spirit guides, the universe, and whatever it is that you believe in, right, is protecting you. The next card says boundaries. Okay, if there is codependent energy, you need boundaries. Okay, we have the Four of Pentacles. It says you need to teach people how to treat you by being clear on what you will or won't allow. The High Priestess. So if this energy is misaligned, right? When I see the High Priestess, if it is misaligned, you are sharing too much of your secrets on your first date or things like that. You are being too revealing, while it is not necessary on the first way, because you are trying to build that connection. Okay, you're probably trying to force intimacy there, but it might not work out right that way. You need to approach it in a more stable and steady format. Okay, approach connection that way. You're trying to feel safe and secure. You're trying to feel safe and secure by trying to attach onto some, something from their story and your story, something matching, and maybe trauma bonding or something like that. Okay, there is no boundaries. You need like boundaries at every stage, right? Or either that, or you are like, you have a lot of boundaries, you're being too private and you're not sharing anything at all. Whatever it is, you're not feeling safe. It is for that feeling of safety and security is not there, and that is what you're trying to find. And your spirit team is telling you you don't have to fear anything. Okay, you don't approach a relationship being fearful. Okay, fearing something, or if you want to fill in the silence, you might say something there because you're worried that this connection is not working out or so trying to fill in silences like that because you're feeling anxious. But your spirit team is telling you with this Rowan card that you are protected. Okay, just be free, right? That is what I'm seeing here. What is the attachment style? So the, like I said earlier, the attachment style is anxious avoidant. Okay, rushing intimacy to avoid discomfort of the unknown, right? You need to teach your brain to value slow stability with the Ace of Pentacles energy that we saw, right? And over fast sparks of the Eight of Wands energy. Okay, so you don't accept low value or low effort connections. You don't want to do that. Okay, and you don't want to be overly assuring and reassuring or trying to forge something that is not even there at that time period, at that time. Okay, when, if it's the first date, right? If you're trying to, maybe you are, you like, you go on a first date and you don't feel something, but you're kind of comfortable in their presence, and you might go back and think, is it really worth it, because I don't feel that spark, right? Sometimes we give too much importance to that spark. Okay, spark does not have to come in the first meeting. It can come later too. We often forget that. We often expect that spark to happen in the first moment itself, right? We don't give it time. We don't give it the necessary time for nurturing and for this new relationship to build. And this also means you need the discernment to understand when to say no, when to understand, okay, this is not the kind of relationship that I want to be in, right? So, yeah, you might, I don't know, you might be avoidant that way, try to avoid conflict with someone or situation confronting these feelings of yours. You might be internalizing it, but you might not be, talking to the other person. You might be just be avoiding them, right? Which also is wrong. You need to just tell them, no matter how what their reaction is, you need to tell them and end it and get it done with, right? So, yeah, that is for attachment. Now, let's see what is the emotional filter. See, goated personality. So fearless I am in the path I choose, for I have never been led astray, always finding my way. Look, see, spirit is giving you so much confidence that they're always there for you. You can do, okay, you can choose what you want. Okay, you don't have to fear anything. There might be some fear of decision making here. Okay, but you need to remember that you are the goat. You're the main character. Okay, not the other person. So it's like, you are not going for an audition, you are interviewing. Okay, that is the energy shift. You're not the one who's been auditioned, you're the one who interviews. Okay, so bring that energy here. You are the main character, you are goated. Okay, we have free yourself. You don't need to be in control of everything for a love relationship to be successful. Yes, some kind of control issues is there, right? You're trying to control the situation too much. And the best things that you can experience is when you are free, and when you might actually be opening portals to alignment when you're free and just being free spirited and doing things that you like to do. Okay, so don't try to control this situation or your love life in any way or form. Queen of Wands, being creative, being taking charge, right? Being grounded, being in that feminine energy of creativity. And also, you know, Queen of Wands is Queen of Wands, she is fun, okay? She's not like a stern queen. She's not like, only about giving orders. She's the fun, fun queen. She'll go take you outdoors and teach you things. Like, that is the kind of leadership she is in. Okay, very fun and free spirited. So you need to shift your energy to the Queen of Wands. Okay, fun, colorful, vibrant. Let yourself shine. Okay, and know that you're in control. Look how she is taking control of this wand, right? I could also see this in a form where she is in charge of the masculine energy in the situation, and also with the flower, the feminine energy, right? I feel like there is a balance here. If you are the masculine and the other person is the feminine, you are in control of both. There is balance here, okay? There is nothing that is overpowering. And this could be your own energy, okay? Because you're seeing, there is control issues here. Queen of Wands is like free and free spirited, right? That's what I was telling you, right? You need to be free and free spirited and be happy and jolly. Don't fear anything. Like just because of, don't fear the pace that a relationship takes time, right? Don't fear that pace. You need to be in ease with that steady pace, okay? That is what is coming through the Emperor. So the Emperor, like we said, we had control issues here, something trying to be in control of the situation. The Emperor is showing that if this Emperor is misaligned, then there is control issues, being too rigid, trying to control every aspect of how a scene should work out, or whom you should, you know you probably have it in your head and you want it to play out exactly the same way as it did in your head, right? So those are the kind of control issues that would be propping up. Okay. What else? What else? Mm, see, discernment is your superpower, pile number three. You have to be the best judge of a situation. Okay. You have to train your brain to asking, okay, is this sustainable? Is every time to yourself actually. Okay. So this is the emotional filter. Being free spirited, sorry, and knowing that you're the goat, okay, and letting go of control issues, being fun and energetic and charismatic and all that beautiful things that you are naturally, right? Then what else? What is the next one? The shadow integration. If you've been too focused on the past, right, over crying over spilled milk, past relationship, but you're not seeing the potential of the cups behind you, right? What the universe has to offer in the next potential tie up when it comes to love life, right? You might be investing a lot of time just being disappointed about what happened in the past, okay? The sooner you integrate, tell yourself, okay, these things happened for a reason. What can I learn from this? What are the patterns that I see? What changes can I make? How can I be a little more free and experimental when it comes to my energy? And what is it that I can really balance, right? Bring into balance when it comes to the way I approach things, right? So we do have the Fool taking a leap of faith. This is the shadow integration. You're meant to move from the past disappointment and take a leap of faith. Okay. Once you do that, you will be able to be this free spirited person. I think I've forgotten how to speak. I don't know what I'm saying. So you will be in this free spirited energy. Even if you look at the Fool, right? They're wearing the dress that they're wearing and their attitude, and they're so open. They're open to new experiences. They're like, you know what? I just trust the flow of things. I just trust the universe. And it might seem like, they're being naive, but they're not. They have previous experiences. The Fool has just completed a cycle and starting a new one. Okay. They're full of hope again, okay, for this new cycle, because they have gained the confidence that they can overcome any challenges. Okay. They are approaching life with a different view right now, a different perspective, right? Not in a very limited perspective, like in a more broader perspective when it comes to experiences and cycles they are having, like they get to experience in this journey called life, right? It says be honest. You need to be honest with yourself, okay? There needs to be honest conversations that needs to happen with yourself. Since this is shadow integration, this should be with yourself, okay? Heart to heart conversations are necessary. It is safe for you to talk about your feelings, okay? You need to explore how you feel and how you can actually come into peace with those feelings and move on. Okay, what can you integrate and move on when it comes to your shadow? You need to have, you need to really confront your shadow and make your shadow your friend. Okay, don't avoid it. Your shadow needs someone, okay, to talk to, and it is best when it talks to you. You need to talk to your shadow. Look at this bonfire, something about rebirth, right? It is through remembering that you will wake the ritual of your existence and be reborn in mighty celebration. You will be reborn with that same fiery passion, with the new, you're burning away all that is not serving you, that is limiting you. Once you do the shadow work, right? Integrating your shadow, think about what the previous experiences has taught you when it comes to your love life, right? You will be able to release, just purge all that limiting energy and be reborn with more fiery passion towards love and life, and with more wisdom. Okay, having this discernment, knowing and knowledge, mainly knowledge to know what to do. Okay, you might be, in this, free spirited energy of the fool, right? But you are full of wisdom, you're full of experiences, right? And you know what to do. You are meant to take this leap of faith. I feel like you're kind of holding yourself back somewhere sometimes when you have to do things, right? When you have to approach a relationship, maybe you are avoiding relationships altogether. The idea of having a partner or investing in a relationship right now, probably you're just avoiding it altogether. So that needs to change. Okay. Mm, what else? We have the mirror, right? Inner power. Look at that. See, I could sense this inner power. Like I told you, you're a very powerful person, right? Once you are aligned, everything you can manifest real fast. Okay? There's unbreakable love. The person has genuine love for you. You can overcome any issues that may arise. How beautiful is that? See, the person that you are attracting and you're meant to be is going to have unbreakable love for you, and you are also going to have this for this person. And right now, focus on self love. Okay, unbreakable love for yourself and your inner power. Focus on how powerful you are. I could sense that, you're a very strong person. Once you bring this balanced energy into the picture, right, things are going to be so aligned in your life. Okay, look at the King of Pentacles energy, very stable, right? Wealthy, stable, secure. You don't have to have that Four of Pentacles energy like we saw earlier, right? Just holding on because out of fear. Here, the Four of Pentacles, if you look at the image, right, he is holding on to those pentacles with fear, okay, because of lack, wondering, what, let me just hold on to what I have. I need to hold on to this because it's coming from a place of lack. But look at King of Pentacles. He is also holding a pentacle, a coin, right? But he is holding with pride because he is holding with ease because he knows he's coming from a place of abundance, right? So you need to show yourself as this King of Pentacles energy, okay, not from a place of lack. You need to be there, don't overshare, be in your own grounded powerful energy, channel in your inner power. Right now your intuition is your best friend when it comes to your love life. Okay, try to do mindful activities and whatever it is that puts you in a meditative state from time to time. Okay, so that you can ground yourself. You're allowing the spirit team to work with you so that your energy is more balanced, and you can also listen to their guidance that is whispering within you. Okay, so that you can shift this worry, the energy of worry. Yeah, it is hard when you're worrying so much, when you're being anxious, when you're, there are so many thoughts that are keeping you awake at night. It how would you think about, no, I need to pause, I need to like listen to my intuition right now, which is a more calming energy, which is not a worrying energy, but you have to consciously still do it. Okay, make time every day or whenever you can to be in this meditative state, so that you are shifting from this anxious energy to more of this inner power, using your inner power and light, right, to attract the right kind of love towards you. And you are in this King of Pentacles energy. This is the energy portals that is going to open up that, you know, you're going to be aligned faster to this true love, this unbreakable love, when you are in this energy. Okay, when you're using your inner power, when you are more in a meditative state rather than in an anxious, worrying state. When you're in your King of Pentacles energy, knowing you are the goat. Didn't we see that? You are the goat. It is like affirming again and again. You're the goat. You're the Queen of Wands. Remember that. Okay, bringing that balance. You don't have to beg for attention, or not attention. You don't have to really act from a place of lack or try to protect something, right? Try to protect, hold on to a connection and protect it and force anything into making, or just because you felt that initial spark and excitement, right? And you also don't have to be completely avoidant of relationships altogether, because just your previous episode with your experience was so bad when you just dived right in and rushed in because of the spark, right? Yeah. So there needs to be like a proper vetting process. Okay, that's gone. You need to apply some practical application when it comes to your internal gatekeeping, right? So you are looking for the best match for you. Okay, it doesn't mean that the next person you feel that high intensity spark with is the best match. It is just a potential. You need to still audition this person, right? You need to still interview them. You need to understand, are they really the best match, or the potential that I saw was just one aspect of it, right? So, yeah, that is your reading, file number 3. I hope this was insightful. So, don't forget to watch part 3, which I'll be uploading soon, maybe in a day or two. And yeah, I shall see you in my next reading. Until then, bye bye.